Morocco is a country that loves its meat. Don't believe me? Ugh. Well, take a look at this.
Seafood, beef, lamb, even camel.
They have a camel that was stricken dead halfway through its meal.
As long as it doesn't oink, you're gonna find it here and in massive quantities. Today, I'm on a mission to shine a light on Morocco's masters of meat.
Take a look at this. What a beauty.
And by the end of this video, I'll be taking on a giant lamb feast that costs $1,000.
I'm worried about these burning, if I'm honest. Are these gonna be rotating on a fire?
But first, a mega meat tower constructed with 9 different proteins.
Mohammed, first meal of the day.
Yes.
Co-founder of Moroccan Food Tour, Mohammed, is here to guide me through today's meat mania.
Right here, we have something really special. One sandwich with 9 different kinds of meat.
This is the unique creation of Chef Saeed. It starts with the shawarma tower.
How much meat is too much meat?
There's no such a thing like too much meat. We love our meat. Just about 10 years ago, if you go to a restaurant and order vegetarian, they would put chicken in your tagine. They did not understand vegetarianism until, I would say, I don't know, 8 to 10 years ago.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Born in the Middle East, the shawarma commonly takes the form of a towering pile of chicken, lamb, or beef. However, in Chef Saeed's kitchen, all of God's creatures mingle together in one stack, along with 6 other cuts of meat.
So we have here a selection of sausage. This one actually is vegetables and spinach.
This style of cooking, it's famous in Turkey, it's famous in Mexico, but I've never seen sausages go onto a meat tower like this. Well, this is definitely chicken breast.
Yes.
So now he's got a bowl of minced beef.
This minced meat is multiple meats in one, a mix of chicken, beef, lamb, lamb fat, bell pepper, dill, and onion.
It's 3 different animals. And a garden, too.
This is smoked chicken sausage. This is beef for veal.
Not just every animal, but animals of all ages. Next, we have this minced meat going on. Once again, this minced beef acts like a gloopy cement for him to shove those sausages into.
The sausage actually is a beef sausage that has like a salami taste to it. This is a piece of lamb that goes also into piling everything.
So now have we done a complete cycle of meat?
Yes.
It's just repeating from here.
Yes.
My favorite part is that he has vegetarian sausages in case somebody's vegan.
That's true.
Once the tower reaches the desired height, it's ready for grilling.
How did this innovation, this meat invention come to life?
De mixer, tout d'abord.
Establishment started like just meat on the grill, but the demand from the customers that said, we want your take on a shawarma. And Chef Saeed decided to put 9 different meats on his shawarma.
He said, you want shawarma? I'll give you shawarma.
While shawarma is often wrapped inside a flatbread, Chef Saeed's protein bomb is served inside a homemade baguette. The bread's insides are hollowed out to make room for the incoming onslaught of flavors. Cheesy mayo forms the foundation, followed by a bed of lettuce, fresh onion, tomato, and pickle. Then it's time for the meat. As it's sliced, cross-sections reveal each layer, the sausages resembling rebar holding together the heavy structure. Next, 2 slices of cheese and another layer of mayo blanket the meat. The whole sandwich takes a quick trip to the grill before the finishing touch. A coat of butter and a special crunchy mixture made of baked corn nuts.
So this crust has corn and seeds, and it's binded with a little bit of honey, so it brings a little bit more sweetness.
And then on top of the crumble,
You have like a cheesy mayonnaise, another Chef Saeed specialty.
should we give it a shot?
Oh yes.
But before we take a bite, sink your teeth into this.
Thank you to BetterHelp for being the paid partner of this episode. For the longest time, I told myself I'll get therapy when things calm down. You know, when I'm less busy, when my schedule isn't all over the place, and when I finally figure out how to balance work with my team, family time with my wife and newborn, and maybe, just maybe, get an uninterrupted moment to myself. But that hasn't happened. Not yet. But I took the leap and signed up with BetterHelp, and here's what I realized. Therapy isn't something you squeeze in after life settles down. It's something that actually helps you handle the chaos better. And with BetterHelp, there's honestly 0 excuse to not get started. For me, signing up took just a few minutes. It was quick, simple, and right to the point. I answered some questions, and within a couple of days, I was matched with a credentialed therapist. And because I travel constantly, I can have sessions no matter where I am, in a hotel room, in an airport lounge, or even in the middle of a jungle. And if your first match doesn't feel right, you don't have to force it like an awkward group project. You can switch anytime. No hassle, no charge. BetterHelp also has a built-in journal and group sessions on topics you might relate to. So if you've been telling yourself you're gonna get to therapy eventually, do it now. Visit betterhelp.com/besteverfood or scan the QR code on the screen and use the code BestEverFoodReviewShow for a special discount on your first month. Because waiting for the perfect time is the same as not starting at all. So get to it. Now, back to the show. An avalanche of meat just fell out of my sandwich. It's falling apart.
Drippy, crumbly.
You got a little bit in your beard. Tough beard food.
Exactly.
There's so much going on here. First of all, the baguette is super crunchy and thin. It does fall apart a little bit, but it is a delicious counterpart to all this meat inside. The taste of the cheesy mayo really sticks out. It's very cheesy. It does taste, slightly like processed cheese. And then there's got to be half a pound of meat in this half of the sandwich. You can't really distinguish the different textures that are in there, but it all has a delicious taste to it. It's been seasoned beautifully. It's all soft, tender, juicy.
The whole package mixes a nice, complex flavor. You can detect a little bit of lamb in there. In some bites, you get a little bit of more chicken. If you look for it, you will find it.
Can you tell the difference?
I have to focus.
Right, and nobody really wants to do that. Right now we're eating this sandwich on baguette bread. Obviously there's a French influence. I noticed that in a lot of menus, I see more menus sometimes in French than in Arabic.
Oh yeah. We've been a French protectorate between 1912 to 1956. So it's still like a predominantly influence in many different ways. Most of the people here in Morocco can speak French. There are, of course, the culture of cafes, the culture of croissant.
The culture of cheese mayonnaise.
Oh yeah, that's pretty French.
What are the positive and negatives to having that attachment to the French culture as a Moroccan, separate nation?
The subject is always brought to surface. Quite a lot of people want to get rid of, but to my personal point of view, I would say we should not. Because it's a part of our history that we should not omit. Plus also, the French culture has quite a lot of good things.
The French may have left their mark on Moroccan cuisine, but those cheese eaters would be in awe of what we're approaching next. An entire lamb ingeniously transformed into one lamb-sized sausage. Mohammed and I are here to see how it's done.
Today I've been on a mission to explore Morocco's unbridled passion for meat. And that has led me here to this restaurant with this fine specimen right here.
This lamb is coming from Ben Sliman, one region here, and its name Sardi.
It had a name?
Yes, of course.
What?
Sardi actually is the name of the breed.
Oh, thank God.
Soon this lamb will be fully stuffed and roasted whole inside a bread oven. But that's not even the wildest thing about this.
I want to talk about what's going inside of it. These are lamb testicles.
Yes.
Exactly.
Either this lamb had a lot of balls or this is sourced from multiple lambs.
Yeah.
The lamb still has its own balls.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out.
Before going inside the lamb, the testicles say goodbye to their skin before being chopped into small cubes. Ugh. Ouch.
I'm sorry.
Why are we putting so many testicles inside of this lamb?
To make a lot of flavors to make it more nice, more juicy inside also.
Every household in Morocco, at least once a year, will have the testicles. It's a common dish to prepare.
So that is one standout, unique component, but we also have a bunch of other nice doodads going inside. First of all, this brain is not from a lamb, unless this was like a Elon Musk of lambs.
It's a beef brain.
I like that we're going cross-species now.
The cow's brain, kidneys, and tenderloin are cubed and tossed into a tray with the testes. Our chef introduces them to woodier mushrooms, pepper, turmeric powder, cumin, dried rosemary, fermented butter, and salt. He mixes them up well before adding a tangled nest of vermicelli. Now the stuffing is ready. But the lamb waits for its turn.
You're gonna remove all its bones.
Yes.
Like Wolverine. But you're not gonna replace it with titanium.
Using a surprisingly small but sharp knife, our chef extracts the lamb's whole spine and rib cage.
Actually, it's not 100% deboned. We'll have the legs bones and the shoulder bones still in there, just to still keep the shape. And it's gonna be all tied together, and it's gonna look like a full lamb.
So it's like a porchetta with limbs.
Yes.
All right, folks, preparation for our stuffed lamb is underway. They deboned this thing, and this is the result. It looks like the set for The Lion King. Anybody remember that? All right.
Now it's time to stuff this oversized meat tube with seasoned minced beef and the mixture prepared earlier. For the vegans, please look away. But don't stop the video. We need the AdSense.
So, after being stuffed, it is finally time for the suturing. Here he carefully uses a thick thread and a needle, and he sews up the animal. It's really unique because it has no backbone anymore, like me ever since I got married. Meanwhile, it has legs. So when it's done cooking, we could literally cut it down the middle, chop it in half like a big sausage, and rip it apart.
Once the lamb's belly is sewn tight, its knee joints are slit and bent into an unnatural yoga pose. Before it reaches our dining table, the lamb will spend the next 4 hours in the restaurant's bread oven. In the meantime, I'm heading out on my own, uncovering more meaty marvels in the city of Casablanca. From a platter made of every animal in the ocean to a butcher shop serving some unexpected animal options.
And our meat mission continues with this right here, what I like to call the meat of the ocean. Beside me, every fish's worst nightmare, Mustafa. He's actually a really nice guy. At this location, this fish is gonna be broken down into tiny little pieces by him, and then it's gonna be turned into a seafood omelet. Not a combination you see every day, but hey, I'm open-minded and I'm willing to give it a try. But first, we've got work to do. Here in Morocco, or at least here in this restaurant, it takes 2 men to take down a fish this size. So we have Mustafa, but we also have the apprentice. What's your name? Ishmael? Ah, Bible name.
Chef Mustafa's restaurant is a favorite among seafood lovers.
Ugh, I'm in the splatter zone right now.
The piles of seafood being served up here remind you that Casablanca is still a coastal city. Casablanca is more than the setting of a classic film. With one of the world's largest artificial ports, it's Morocco's biggest city and economic engine. Mustafa finishes his butchering process by cubing and skewering the tuna meat. The skewers receive a coat of oil mixed with fresh parsley and coriander. Then they rest on the grill top until they cook through. Sizzling next to those chunks of tuna, the main course. An omelet of sorts paired with all the Little Mermaid's friends. Here's how it's made.
From the prep kitchen, we have come here to the assembly room, and right behind me, you can see all the seafood that's already been chopped into little bitty pieces. We've got shrimp, we've got octopus, we even got squid right here, but that is not the best part. You see over here, we've got my guy Mustafa working on this recipe, putting all these seafood elements together into these tins.
Start with a base made of tomato sauce and olive oil mixed with 17 herbs, then cuttlefish and mussels. Mustafa loads each pan with a handful of shrimp, followed by octopus and a prawn. He stacks the pans on a tray, then hauls them out to his massive charcoal-fueled grill. Here, each pan receives a fish egg sack, a sprinkle of 17 dried herbs, and finally, to bind all the components together, some land caviar, also known as a chicken egg. Chef Mustafa's grilling experts remove the lids and drain the excess juice from the pan before sending the final product to the table, a process that happens up to 800 times per day.
Even with everything you see on the table now, it is not yet complete. We still need one more ingredient. Mustafa, my guy Mustafa, coming in right here with the oil. Here he's made his own olive oil full of 17 different herbs. Oh my God, that looks real heavy. Thank you. Let me tell you the story of Mustafa. This guy is a legend. He started off in a market filleting fish for like $1 a pop, making no money. And then he created an Instagram page. He went viral, but he started this restaurant where he is the main cook behind everything you see here. So this is the main course that we're after. The way this was sold to me was more like a seafood scrambled egg. I'm not gonna call it that at all. This is more like a lot of seafood. And hey, we also put an egg on top. Speaking of eggs, there's also an egg sack. It is from a whiting fish. This whiting looks inviting. These are all the eggs that would have popped out of here, except they have been trapped, encased, and cooked inside this sack. Not a lot of flavor, but you can actually feel the eggs. It's kind of goopy, a little soupy. It's smoky from the grill, and then it's oily from the oil. I'm surprised with this dish how many different types of seafood there are in here. I'm gonna come back to this in a moment, but first, I thought initially the tuna was gonna be in here, but I'm told the flavor of the tuna is too strong to actually put in with the eggs. I'm gonna take the grilled tuna and dip it right into here to the harissa. This is a very spicy and super sour sauce that's also now been coated with oil. Oh my God. I love it. The tuna, a little fatty, smoky, but this sauce, when it's combined, this is a match made in heaven. First of all, it's spicy. Second of all, it's sour, but it's sour kind of like green olive juice is sour. So imagine a spicy green olive juice. Is that your thing? For most people, probably not. But when you mix that with certain heavy meats, it's super delicious. We're coming back to the seafood platter. Here is how people actually eat it. The lemon, we're gonna put that to the side. Then we're gonna bring back this lemon and give it a little bit of a squeeze. We get some bread, we break off a little piece, open it up, and we just shove it in there. I want some egg, I want some of that sauce. There's mussels, there's little shrimpies. I see some octopus, shrimp, all of it together on one mini seafood sandwich. Let's go. That's nice. There's kind of a tomatoey base. There's an egg, and then every character from Finding Nemo all mixed in one pan. Watch me as I unearth it to show you what's beneath that egg. You can see some nice big squid pieces, octopus, even more egg. Meanwhile, we have a whole shrimp decapitation. Squeeze the end of the tail and rip off the shell. This time I'm going no bread. I want shrimp, I want seafood, I want egg. Nice and bouncy. It's got some body to it. You've got some fresh citrus from the lemon. Each different seafood offering has a little bit different texture. So that is our mega meat dish numero dos.
Back in the bread oven, our $1,000 lamb is roasting away.
2 different levels, I cannot relate.
But I still have time for one last stop before we reveal the final outcome.
Welcome to Casablanca's red light district. Although any red light you see here is going to be illuminating meat. And let me tell you, this is my kind of meat market. This is the only place in the city where you're going to find this right here. Camel meat. And just so you know for sure what kind of meat you're buying, they have a camel that was stricken dead halfway through its meal. Meanwhile, the actual camel meat is over here. This is a big leg of camel. We've got camel ribs. As we circle around, you can see there's a huge variety of meats here. First of all, this right here. Take a look. Any ideas? That right there is the camel hump. Here, we have the sausage of a camel. I like he's reorganizing it to make it look nice. So just a moment ago, he split this lamb in half and he proudly brought it over here. Take a look at this. What a beauty. There's a perfect cross section right here. But this is the specialty we're after today. This is beef liver wrapped in caul fat. Oh my God, more, thank you. Caul fat is like this fatty membrane that wraps around the sheep's or cow's organs. A fatty material that's used to wrap around liver. When it's grilled up, that membrane will get tight around the liver. And let me tell you, it tastes delicious, according to people here. I'm gonna find out for myself soon. Let's head to the grill. All right, folks, we have gone from the butcher shop to this restaurant. They've cooked up our meat, and it is in front of me right now. The interesting thing about this restaurant is I saw some other good things on the grill and I thought, oh, I want to order that too. The problem is you actually have to go back to the butcher, get some ground minced meat or whatever it is, and bring it here for them to cook because they have very little inventory. They have a handful of salads, French fries, and bread, but the meat, you got to bring it yourself. So let's talk about our first mysterious meat. This right here, this is the camel sausage.
Unlike its beef, chicken, or lamb counterparts, camel sausage is more of a desert delicacy. Here, butchers carve out the perfect chunks, and nearby cooks bring the meat to life over hot charcoal.
Now, I've eaten camel in many different forms. Big chunks, little chunks. I've eaten camel cooked underground in Egypt, but among all the camel I've eaten, I've never eaten a camel sausage. I'm gonna pop one off. There we go. I like it. It's a fun-sized little Frankie. Did it just squirt? Oh my God, that almost tastes like pepperoni, but I believe it's got some cumin in there too. A very strong flavor, super fatty, and a nice dense texture. After eating this, your fingers are gonna be greasy, and you can either get a tissue or bread. The bread is good at absorbing grease, and it can also be the vehicle for more meat. They're so good. And it's so fatty that it's even better with bread. Moving on, we have another type of camel right here. Big sections of camel meat that's been cubed up, seasoned, and put on this skewer with a very special body part, and that is right here, the camel hump.
Coming to the grill shop with no seasonings, the camel meat and hump fat skewers require a touch of salt and cumin before hitting the grill.
The charcoal is really coming through. I don't know if you can tell from the color, but it's a bit well done. That said, the main flavor, the flavor of camel is delicious. It's a little bit neutral, maybe slightly beefy, but it's definitely a dark meat. Right here, we have the camel hump. We're gonna combine that with a little bit more camel meat, and I'm gonna put it in a little bread taco. Cheers. The hump is pure fat. Fat can be overwhelming sometimes, and that's why each of these skewers just has a couple pieces of fat. But there's something very satisfying about this. Take a look at this. It's big, it's plump. Some of the edges are charred like that, so you get a little bit of a fat crunch. It melts in your mouth. It is like camel flavored butter. Unbelievable.
Finally, the main reason we're here, the marriage of cow liver and caul fat. The cook takes care of the liver first, grilling it lightly before chopping it into bite-sized cubes. He seasons both ingredients with cumin, pepper, and salt. Then he wraps the cubes of liver inside the caul fat. He skewers them, and finally pops them on the grill.
This is a food I've actually had before. The last time I had it, I was in Uzbekistan. It is a flavor that you need to get used to. You have to like liver a lot. And then the caul fat doesn't make it less intense. It only makes it more intense. So this is the only meat that I'm questioning whether or not I'm gonna actually like, but let's give it a shot. Some of it has turned quite black. I'm gonna pull some of these off. So there's still a layer of fat here. It's either kind of raw like this or super charred like this. It appears very charred on the outside, but actually on the inside it tastes medium well. I'm getting a burst of livery freshness in the middle of it. And by freshness, I mean rawness. It's kind of intense, it's gamey, it definitely tastes like liver, but it's not bad. It is very livery, it's slightly intense, and the caul fat adds even more intensity to it, plus more richness and even more fat. This to me seems kind of like a traditional old dude food. I don't picture like 19-year-old women eating this, but hey, maybe.
Finally, it's time to check on our lamb and see how it's doing inside the bread oven.
The lamb is in the oven, although a moment ago it arrived here in a DHL package because it was cooked somewhere off premises.
From what I've gathered, after I left, the restaurant moved the lamb to a different oven in a different part of the city. Then the lamb returned at the same time as me. The staff diligently removed the cramped lamb from its styrofoam tomb and tossed it back in the bread oven like nothing ever happened.
It's been in there for 2 minutes now, and we're gonna pull it out and see the epic reveal.
Though the lamb looks like it's broken a hip while being squished into that box, the lamb's meat looks juicy and its aroma is alluring. After the chef dresses it up with lettuce, pickles, fried pastries, and tomatoes, our $1,000 lamb experience is ready to begin.
Everything we've done in our lives from the time we were born until now has brought us together in front of this lamb right here. When is the last time you've seen this preparation? Let's start with you, Isham.
Joining us, Mohammed's colleague at Moroccan Food Tour.
2 years ago, in marriage, they make this one.
Me too. I was in a wedding. That was about precisely 14 months or so.
It's not an everyday food, but it's pretty common at celebrations.
The big party.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it feels familiar and new at the same time because it's roasted, but it also has this whole middle sausage section. It's absolutely jammed full of testicles. They turned the testicles into ovaries, really, if you think about it.
That's a nice way to put it.
It still has these sutures here, so we gotta bring the chef over here, and he's gonna cut it open at the table. So the chef has come, he cuts it, and then he just unties it by hand, just like untying a pair of shoes.
Exactly.
Could I have this? Thank you. This is a half spatula, half knife. Does he take this with him camping? Why is he using this? I like this because ordinarily there would be ribs here, but there are no more. Oh wow, this spatula cuts pretty good. It's like you can feel the mushiness of the meat inside. Whoosh.
Ooh, that looks great.
Oh, what is that, brother? You can see some finer parts that look almost like a mash or like a wet bread. I guess that must be the vermicelli that has overcooked.
You see the testicle and the rib.
You spotted the testicle immediately. Let's start with the insides and we'll work our way to some of the other interesting parts. Can you make out what you're looking at here?
That's the minced beef.
It has a pretty strong smell on its own. I think we just go for it.
Yeah.
The minced meat is nice, well seasoned, slightly dry.
Because we normally accompany always with a little bit of the lamb and the fatty parts, and that what brings all the juice. You can just, go for it. Okay, just like that.
There you go. Oh yeah, this is like the loin of the lamb.
Oh, yeah.
Very juicy, greasy. I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of salt.
You can also add in a little bit of cumin.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Crazy tender, super juicy, a nice texture to it. A little hit of cumin just elevates it a little bit. The salt brings out the flavor even more. What do you think that is?
That should be part of the brain.
Oh, really? It felt a little solid for a brain.
That's maybe the gland in the back brain.
The prefrontal cortex?
Yes.
Okay.
Prefrontal cortex.
Okay, got it. It's interesting. Around the meat, there's kind of this mash, and it tastes strongly of turmeric.
Because they add like all the marinade with all the mixture, and the vermicelli also soaks in all the flavors.
That is actually a good reason to have the vermicelli in there. It seems like it kind of locks in all the flavor. Otherwise, all the rendered fat could just come out, and then the flavor could just leak out of the animal.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, we must partake in testicle together.
Exactly, yeah. Let's find the testicle each.
Oh, it's a very tiny testicle.
I find mine. Big one. You can take it.
I'm not a doctor. Oh, you like it a lot? It's good.
Oh yes, very, very good.
It's very dense, kind of like eating heart. So what's interesting about halal food is what's acceptable to Muslims in one country is not acceptable to Muslims in another country. In some places, people, they go testicles, great, no problem, we love it. Like here, you go to another country and we're like, no, haram, can't eat that. Have you heard of people saying that that body part is haram?
To be honest, never
heard of
about it. Yeah. We eat the whole animal here.
What about the penis?
Yes.
I like it. So, Casablanca. Everyone flies into Casablanca. The name of the city is famous, but it seems like people also escape and they go to these other enclaves like Marrakesh or Fez. Already I've gone to Fez. I got lost in all the narrow roadways and paths. Incredible. I come to Casablanca, it's a completely different beast. Why should people come to Casablanca?
Well, Casablanca is the economic capital of the country, and there's a historical part in Casablanca, of course. There is the beautiful Hassan II Mosque, but most of the people find it a little bit hectic, like metropole vibes like everywhere in the world. But if you like city vibes with all what it brings, the restaurants, the clubs, the beach, and you like the food, you like hanging out with the locals, and that's a great experience.
You know what they have here that I like? This.
Oh yes.
This right here. Can we get this in a to-go box? Oh, they have that box still. Maybe that one.
Hungry for more fun food videos? Join me at more Best Ever Food Review Show, a channel that's unfiltered, raw, half the quality, and twice the fun.
Can you walk away and come back? Oh, look, the server.
Subscribe now and you probably won't regret it.
It looks like it has some tattoos. Was this lamb in a gang?
True, I've been part of a gang, a free-ranging gang.
I do think they call it a flock. It's fun because everything's mixed up. I can have some brain and some testicle, the two things I use to make all my decisions. I'm so glad I got to have a little peek at the meat behind the curtain. That sounds weird when I say it that way. Boom, that is the end of our video here in Casablanca, but we have a lot more to see in Morocco. But before we go, I want to say a huge thank you to Mohammed of Moroccan Food Tour. You can actually book your own food tour through MoroccanFoodTour.com. Do you want to talk about what cities you're in?
So we are a food tour company based in 7 different cities across Morocco. Tangier, Chefchaouen, Fez, Casablanca, Rabat, Marrakesh and Essaouira. And yeah, MoroccanFoodTour.com.
Don't come to a country and waste your precious time. Book a food tour, use your time wisely, and get the most out of your travel when you're in the country. Otherwise, that is it for this one. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Subscribe.
Sure, why not? Let's go. I feel like there's more animals we didn't eat. Is there anything halal that's left?
Goat? Did you had goats?
Let's go to the goat.